Hello, my name is Matthew Kurin, and my senior thesis project was detecting heavy metals in nutritional supplements. Nutritional supplements have grown in popularity over the last couple of years, being utilized by athletes, military personnel, and in healthcare. However, this increase in popularity has raised some questions about the control of these supplements. Currently, the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, does not require third-party testing to be completed for quality and purity of these nutritional supplements. This research experiment aimed to investigate the quality and purity of these nutritional supplements, utilizing heavy metals as an example contaminant in these three nutritional supplements shown here: Boost, Ensure, and Unjury. This experiment utilized a nitric acid digestion in conjunction with microwave digestion to break down the nutritional supplements. 3 digestion blanks were also processed in parallel with our samples to allow us to account for any contamination from our processing. The samples and digestion blanks were diluted by a factor of 250, and several calibration standards were created for the formation of a standard curve to compare the mass spectra to later. This experiment utilized the Agilent 7800 inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry system to analyze our supplements and detect the heavy metals that we are interested in. The samples and digestion blanks and standards were all loaded into the auto sampler and processed over a couple of hours. Once mass spectra were collected from the ICP-MS processing, we calculated the concentrations of each heavy metal of interest and compared them to each other through an ANOVA statistical analysis test for each supplement, and compared them to the FDA regulation for that specific element, utilizing their regulations for bottled water as a comparison. Here in figure 3, we can see the average heavy metal concentrations of the 4 heavy metals of interest in all 3 nutritional supplements and the FDA regulation for bottled water. Boost is shown here in blue, Ensure in orange, Unjury in gray, and finally the FDA regulation in yellow. Here in figure 4, we can see the average concentrations of 4 other elements that were found in our nutritional supplements utilizing the nitric acid matrix: vanadium, cobalt, thorium, and uranium. These 4 elements are not necessarily heavy metals, however, can pose a human health risk when found at high enough concentrations. They were found at relatively low concentrations in these nutritional supplements. The large standard deviation shown here in the detection of arsenic for the Ensure sample, seen again here in cobalt and again in thorium, indicates that there was a possibility that this nutritional supplement brand was not homogeneous in its bottle, so the distribution of the element in the bottle was not uniform. Unjury does seem to be the best choice, as it was the lowest for all 4 heavy metals, and it's generally the lowest in the other elements detected. Ensure seemed to have the highest levels of heavy metals. However, due to the high amount of variability in detection in Ensure, we cannot say for sure that these average concentrations are accurate for that supplement. Ensure was over the FDA regulation for lead and arsenic. However, we can see from the large standard deviation, it was not significantly higher. Boost here was above the FDA regulation for arsenic and cadmium. However, the arsenic concentration was not significantly higher, whereas the cadmium concentration was significantly higher than the FDA regulation. However, we do have to remember that the comparison to the FDA regulations for bottled water is not perfect, because the expected volume of water to be ingested in a day is much higher than the expected volume of these nutritional supplements. You'd have to drink about 5.5 bottles in a day to reach the suggested limit for the lead, and then you'd have to drink about 10 bottles in a day to reach the suggested limit for arsenic and cadmium, shown here. But you're only generally expected to drink about 1 or 2 of these nutritional supplements in a day. These heavy metals being present in these nutritional supplements does indicate that there may be some contamination taking place that is not being accounted for in the manufacturing of these supplements. The results do possibly support the claim that the regulations are not adequate for controlling these supplements, as there were several elements that were above the FDA regulation for bottled water. The results definitely support the need for further investigation and further testing, possibly utilizing a wider range of nutritional supplements and repeated ICP-MS analysis of more aliquots from each sample. Thank you for your time.